everyone, welcome into Prime Time. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is Dennis Kelly. We are celebrating life this week, right?
Right.
We have had so much to be thankful for, and today is just kind of like another open mic. We're talking about celebrating our lives while we're still on this side of the planet, right?
Right.
And I have my 70th birthday coming up this Wednesday.
How about that?
We will be back on the dance floor in spite of my injury, in spite of you caring for me as I hobbled around on the walker for almost 3 weeks, right? A lot of prayers, a lot of healing has really taken place, and I'm not done yet, and I'm not out of the woods yet, but life is good. I'm excited because what did you come home after watching the Packers game yesterday? Who won, right? You were in a really good mood. What did you walk into the family room to see with your wife? What was she doing?
Dancing.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to do that for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know. So I'm really blessed, and thank you for your prayers out there in Facebook land, and friends and family, and my husband, who was the best caregiver ever. Who would have thunk, right?
Well, I really felt bad if I didn't do it, because I would, who am I going to come in and clean out my cage?
That's true. That's very true. So we have been reflecting back on some of the things that really has given us this fantastic word that is everywhere. Some of us may think it's an overused word, but it's really a strong word, and that word is empowerment. And that is one of the things that I really, when I literally came down on the dance floor about 5 weeks ago and had to face myself, with myself, it really came to mind all the things that I've learned as a life coach, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, and just living with you and learning everything that you've taught me too, is living an empowered, heart-based life. We were talking about that word just beforehand. Whether you think that is an overused word or not, we're going to give you reasons to think about this, because it could very well empower you to live your best optimal life moving forward, once you understand that, right?
Absolutely.
So I asked you before the show what your rendition is, what your definition is of empowered, because I looked it up on Google. There's a whole lot of different explanations for empowerment. So give me your best spin on it.
Well, empowerment comes from, obviously, the inside, tapping into that universal energy that we have called chi. And empowerment is simply raising the frequency level of our cells, empowering them to raise the frequency level to a higher vibrational level, which allows the individual to do remarkable things, to win sporting events, to be the top person in your class and school, to be the best mother, the best father, empowering that resonance, that vibrational fortitude inside of all of us, that we have this power. The problem is most people don't know they have it. People say, well, how do you use it? Well, first of all, you have to know that you have it. Then you go in and become passionate about the things that you want. If you want to really get them done and bring that to fruition, then what you do is you develop the passion, because you can't have an empowered feeling unless you have a passion feeling. Life without passion is very dull. It's not creative. And that empowerment is going in and tapping into that phenomenal energy that we still know very little about.
You have keyed in on one of my favorite words, passion, because it's also attached to love, which is the highest emotional frequency ever. Is that correct?
Love.
Love.
Right.
Exactly. When we do anything and everything, when we come from love, that is empowerment, right?
Right. Well, it also is the opposite of rage. Because you think of having a poster board, so to speak, and you got 1 to 10 going up as far as positive, and then you got 1 to 10 going down. The key is to try to get into the going up, the passion, the frequency, positive frequency level. Going 10 is like euphoria, where the bottom of this scale is rage. The key is to vacillate somewhere between 5 and 1 of the positive side of frequency, that frequency level, rather than trying to stay high all the time.
Right.
You have to play the middle of the road.
Balance, right?
Balance, that
Right.
balance,
Right.
that's the right word.
And that's another word that is key in our lifestyle of living in an empowered life, because what happens is, and I noticed this in even just recently when I'm trying to heal myself, and believe me, I had a lot of time to spend with yours truly. And I do that on a regular basis anyway, but when you're stuck in a chair with a walker, and believe me, I mean, you're literally stuck, there's even more things that come to you. And that's what's happened to me in this last month, trying to heal and understanding that what we've been living for, well, we've been together a little over 20 years. And in those 20 years, we have truly learned how to master that word empowerment, how to master living life from the heart, learning how to love, inspire, forgive, enlighten. That is my favorite acronym for the word life. You hear me say that a lot, but honestly, it was so validated in this last 5 weeks when I had all this time to spend with myself to really, I swear, I think God just said, you know what? You want me to come down there? Or wait a minute, let me just pull the rug out from under you and then we'll do it that way. Then I might come down there. Sometimes we really have to have a life event to enable us to get back to source, right?
Right.
Get back to our meditation, our prayer, our purpose, our passion, because all these words connected are part of that empowered way of living. Empowerment for me, when I actually thought about what I would come up with those words, it was much easier recently, because had I not been doing these practices that we have adopted, the principles, the concepts, through the program that we've done for the last 20 years, I would not have been empowered. I would not have had the mastery to go to my heart and figure out what I wanted to do to really heal myself. And by empowering yourself, living that heart-centered life, I truly am working on avoiding surgery with the orthopedic surgeon. And you see that that's what I've been doing, from exercise, from meditation and prayer, from doing as much as I possibly can to become empowered on a daily basis.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, you know, it's about education, and that's what our show is about, is to bring to you any kind of little tips that we possibly can. We don't know it all, believe me. We're still learning. We're still kids. We're still students, right?
Absolutely. You're never too old to get young.
Yeah, and you've been studying more about the brain as well. And you're coming up with even more current information, documentation on the brain. And when we opened the show, you had mentioned something about frequency, which I found fascinating, because that's one of the things that we are also doing with frequency, aside from our own brain power and our own thought power. And if you've been tuning into our shows in the past, you've probably heard my husband talk about words and the frequency of words, the power of words, that words are things. And so when you think about words and watching our words, our self-talk, that's another thing that has allowed us to become sort of those sages on stage, in a sense, because they work. They've been working through trial and error.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that when I do my seminars, I encourage people to create a movie in their mind and be the director of that movie. And most people, they're playing a part and somebody else is directing their movie. Their life is a movie.
Yes.
Everybody's life is like a movie. The key is to get and become the director. And the participant in the movie are the actors and the actresses. And what you want to do is be in control. Picture what you want to happen in your life as you're the director and you see it happening.
Exactly.
People sometimes think it's ridiculous, but let me tell you something. It's powerful.
It is powerful.
Because the subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is reality and what you're really thinking. So what you do is you tune into that subconscious, feed it that information, and then it'll come out with some amazing results. Then you tap into a third power that very few people are aware of. And that third power is the spiritual power, the power that can move mountains. That all starts with a single thought.
Single thought.
Plant an acorn, and when you get an oak tree.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you've clearly done that. You're still on Channel 10, 2 years later, after the last time, I don't know, that just popped into my head. And setting that example, I have more people coming up to us saying, I saw your husband on Channel 10. Well, a couple of years ago, from thoughts, thoughts become things, things become reality. Again, I just shamelessly promote the fact that you took your 6th world championship at age 78.
Right.
And they're still promoting that. And it's exciting to see that. And it all started with a single thought and just manifesting everything that you needed to do to accomplish that. The same with life. We're going to take a brief little time out. When we come back, we have more savvy, sassy, and sage tips for you, because I am going to be all that in 2 days. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi everyone, welcome back into Primetime TV. Barbara Marville Kelly here, and Dennis Kelly, my partner for life. And I thank you for that.
Think you can put up with me for life?
Oh, no, let's just turn the tables. Because you know what putting up with me is like. I don't know if I could do that with one of me. Seriously. So I'll get you that gold medal for doing that.
I'll take it.
Well, you know, the thing is we come together with balance in our lives, and we've adopted not only philosophies, but principles that really work, principles that are validated, right, through science, through medical documentation. And today, you know, people are very savvy. They want to know, okay, what are my answers? What do I need to do? How do I need to do it? How do I live my best life, right? I mean, we hear that all the time. And honestly, our thing is living a heart-mastered life, a heart-empowered life. That's why we're talking about this word empowerment that a lot of people use and maybe overuse, but there is some truth to that word because it is empowering. When you know that you are living a heart-empowered life, you feel like you can just about accomplish anything. And believe me when I tell you, I made some decisions in this last 5 weeks that I feel very strongly about, and based on all of your training with Heart Math Institute, and that's where the science and the documentation comes in. It's not like we just pick something out of our brain and go, oh, I think we'll just make up a concept. No, these are tried and true principles that we live by daily, and the reason why I wanted to bring them out, because I will have lived for 7 decades on this earth. I still can't believe it. And you are already hit the 88 decades. Are we doing something right? Are we in balance? I think so.
Well, it's not a goal, it's a direction.
Yeah.
You can never really be perfect in any of those areas, but you can use perfection as a direction.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge that people must run into is we get diverted from our goals. In other words, people don't, when they set a goal, they don't really develop the passion needed to make that goal, that word passion again. And they don't really actually see the goals already made. It's more of a wishing contest. I wish I had this. I wish I had, I'll be happy when I get this. And that's the greatest lie in the world. When I get this, I'll be happy. It's the greatest con job in the world nature gives us.
You know, I was just talking to a young man who took my groceries out from Publix just a couple of days ago. And we had that conversation. And he's a young fella, and he knows that it's up to him to make himself happy, and he'll be even happier should he find the right gal to come into his life. And we've had many conversations about this. We make ourselves happy. And when you talk about passion, that is a key word, because if we, like you say, if we're not passionate about what we're doing, we're not fulfilling our purpose, because purpose and passion come together, right?
Absolutely. The key, one of the keys, there's many keys, but one of the main keys is that everything you do, try to think of developing a passion for it. Like when you say you're eating a nice filet mignon steak, you like steak, develop the passion where you savor every little morsel of that steak, or if it's fish or whatever it is. Everything you do, you can develop a passion. Like I love to go watch my Green Bay Packers. To me, I watch them with a passion.
Oh, yes, you do.
Because of the nature of that team, that's where I came from in Wisconsin and so on. But I try to use that same passion with every type of thing, like when we're going to stop and say, get something to eat. Regardless what it is, eat with a passion.
That's right.
Enjoy every single morsel of that. Gratitude, that the fact that we've got the food, we've got the ability to be able to do anything we want to do. And that is direct course in the right direction as far as making your goals. I mean, it's easy to talk about. It's hard to do because there's so many distractions. We're not genetically engineered to have this many concept changes, to have this kind of stress. We haven't matured emotionally as much as we've matured mentally.
But I think we can mature emotionally once we understand the map.
Yeah.
The whole map that leads you down, which is called the Master Action Plan, is taking the action, and that's what we've done. So we have that protocol, and we follow that, after we go to our heart. And going to our heart brings that balance. When you bring that balance in, you become empowered.
Right. Well, one of the worst inventions or discoveries ever
Is
in
this?
humanity.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, getting close. But one of the biggest and worst discoveries of the century was by a Frenchman called Binet. He invented the IQ test. And when people are told they're average or below average, then they expect that that's all I'm going to be able to do. People don't realize some of the world's dumbest people some of the world's smartest people are working for some of the world's dumbest people. And it all ties into the passion. Once you realize that you're in control, that you have unlimited emotional IQ, emotional EQ, rather than just IQ. So your emotions, being able to handle those emotions, be able to enjoy every single thing that you do, living for the now.
Living for the now. Exactly. And I think a lot of people want to sort of adopt that philosophy, but really don't do that. Sometimes we're forced to face the now, right? And when we do, you either come up smelling like a rose, or we know what some of the other alternatives is. And that is where another thing that we do that we feel very strongly about is about choices. How we make our choices.
Yeah, that's a very important point. When we are in a situation that's not positive, that's because sometime in the past we weren't making the right choice. The more events that you have to choose from, the more options you have to choose from, the better the quality of the choice.
That's right.
Too many people, they don't make enough options. They don't have enough plan B and C in case plan A doesn't work. To have a backup plan for everything you do. And the key also is to realize that we have unlimited potential.
I was going to get to that.
Power.
Tell me, in all of your studies and certifications, what is the percentage? I think I asked you that the other day, on the percentage of the average human being. What is the average percentage that they use of their potential? Didn't I ask you that?
What is the average?
The average potential that we're using of what we have. We have infinite possibilities, and we're using a small percentage of that.
Yeah, we only use about 1/10 of the brain.
It's crazy.
And the heart has an intelligence in it too. But you have to be aware of that intelligence is the key. Because the minute you are aware of something, it's like clicking on the light. The light goes on when you are aware of a situation. When somebody tells me, or I tell somebody, you have an unlimited power, then the light goes on. Okay, I got this unlimited power. Then how do I want to use it now? What do I want to use it? How can I use it to help people?
That's right.
To help myself, to really support my family, be able to have things I want and the things I need. It's all right there in front of us.
It is right in front of us, but unless we know how to tap into that, and we've learned how to do that for many, many years, and it all does come back to the whole passion thing. It comes back to the highest emotional frequency ever, which is love. And for some people, it's hard to understand to come from love in everything you do, but it really does work. Even if somebody's screaming at you in your face, you can go to love by simply doing that 1 minute or even 30-second stress management, right?
Right.
And it changes that frequency. Somebody's screaming at you in your face, you learn that, and it comes very easily, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that just real quick. I know we're going to have another break coming up. 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes. So let's do a quick little exercise so that our viewers have something as a takeaway that you can start working on immediately. And we actually sold this technique from Heart Math Institute on the Home Shopping Network a number of years ago. Sold out in under 5 minutes. Does it work? Absolutely. Try it. It might take you a couple of times. I'm going to let you do the heart lock-in.
Oh, you want the heart lock-in? Okay. The heart lock-in is, first of all, you want to imagine that you're breathing through your heart. In other words, inhale through the heart, exhale through the heart. Like if I asked you to wiggle your big toe right now on your right foot, that wouldn't be too much of a task. It's the same thing as placing your attention in the heart, like you're breathing from the heart. And then once you've established your breathing from the heart, then what you want to do is go back in time to a time in your life that when you think about it, it makes you feel really good. In other words, something that really turns on your light, floats your boat when you think about it. And obviously, unless somebody is some type of weirdo, everybody has some type of event in their life when they think about it, it can make them feel good. But most people don't dwell on that. They don't use that. They're thinking of the now. How is the situation now? Rather than reversing, the past doesn't equal the future.
30 seconds.
Only when you tap into the future. In other words, the future, looking what you want to have, and then going about using that power that we talk about to get it. The passion, build up a passion. The big wow factor is when you have this vibration in your mind of what you want, that thing that you want starts vibrating at that same frequency.
At a high frequency.
That's the big wow factor.
Exactly.
Thoughts are things. That's my favorite motto.
And thoughts are frequency, too.
You have to be careful what you think about, because you bring about.
That's right.
And then once you got it, you may not want it.
We're going to be talking about self-talk and how important that plays as a role in our daily living and how it really can help you change. We're going to be right back after this. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Primetime TV. We are here on the WeBeam TV set, and we're really talking about some great things that we live by, different concepts and principles that all tie in together. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and my partner co-host is Janice Kelly. I love doing these shows with you because we get a chance to impart some of our wisdom of the ages. Oh my goodness, how many times have we gotten together with groups of people for our wisdom of ages and just sharing, you know, what we've learned over the years. And I remember when I was way younger, I used to always listen to the, how do I say this very respectively because that's where we're at right now, is the elderly. The senior citizens, the people that have really great stories to share with us, right?
Yeah, over in Asia, the older you get, the more respect you have. People over there, a lot of them will lie about their age and say they're older than what they are.
Really?
Yeah, because there seems to be this paradigm where as you age, you gain, which they do, they gain more wisdom. We're here in America.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And when you get old, that's when people start looking down on you because of this and because of that, where people don't have the patience with you. They think they know more than you do. They don't realize with every senior individual, there's certain forms of wisdom that they've lived their life through, that they know something we don't know.
Sure.
To give them that respect and to be able to help them by listening to what they say. It's a sharing of information. But the challenge there is most people, they don't like to take the time with the elderly because of the elderly, a lot of them are sick or they don't feel good. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of, to some people, a downer to be around people that are like that. But as long as you're helping them, it's not a downer.
No, it isn't. And I just love to hear the stories. You know, we were just talking about, experience just before the show. John is our producer, owner extraordinaire here at the studio, and he and my husband both have something very much in common, and that's over 40 years in the martial arts. And there's so much to be said for that. There's so many stories that both of you can share, and what you've learned about yourself, again, going back to that whole frequency that, you know, we've been talking about. So just before we took the break, we mentioned something that is extremely important that we've learned, and believe me when I tell you, this is a learning experience. Once we understand that words are things, words have energy, words have frequency, and how it affects our body, our persona, everything, then we begin to watch our own self-talk and learn how to master it. I still haven't mastered it yet. I think you have. But when we say something, anything, if it's negative, guess what? Those words are going to govern everything, how you act, your demeanor. You walk into a room, and believe me when I tell you, when you start watching yourself talk, you can always find something positive to say about anything. You can. You can pull. I had to do that when I learned this about myself years ago. Well, my mom used to always say, you can always say something good about everyone. Well, I applied that when I was selling anything from soup to nuts on the local shopping channel because I had challenging products, right? You ever watch the Shark Tank? See some of the products that come on there? Well, you know what? You can always find something good to say, and I started applying that even more in life, even when I would run into situations or challenging people, challenging attitudes. You know that. Our self-talk is so important, and once you start noticing that and changing that self, we can do it, right?
Well, right. Just being aware that what words you use, what your self-talk is, and also talk outside of yourself, you realize that it has such an impact on our life and our development and so on. Chad Helmstead wrote several books on that. What do I say when I talk to myself in choices? Mm-hmm. And he discovered that, or came out with the fact that we usually think 60 to 65,000 words a day. We think that many words in our head. Oh we speak about 10 to 15,000 words a day. Of course, I know somebody like yourself, that probably goes up to about 30, 40,000.
I knew this was coming. Thank you.
Women speak more words in a day than men by 500 to 1,000.
That must be why we get on
It's changing. It used to be a bigger gap, but now it's getting pretty close that they say men are starting to talk with more words.
Oh.
It's what the sum total of your thoughts are and the sum total of what your words are. It would create volumes and volumes of books. But those books and that self-talk that creates those imaginary books are showing exactly what our life has become. The end result of what we've been thinking and talking about has come.
You know, I can relate to that. I didn't know those statistics that were out there. It's very interesting, but you've always talked about that. And perception is another thing that is really big. Understanding people, and then of course with these, when texting has become so prevalent nowadays, we're losing that emotional capability of engaging in a real conversation like we're doing here. And we miss that, and things can be misperceived, especially on text, right? Because you don't hear someone's voice inflection. There's ways of saying things, and one person may take it one way, one person may take it another way, and it's all in the way it's presented. You agree about that?
Yeah, a lot of success mentally, physically, and emotionally in people is that you place a value on your words, and so when they leave your presence, that they feel better about themselves.
Yes.
What do people feel about themselves when they leave your presence? Do they feel worse than before they were meeting with you or whatever? I mean, realizing that that is an important part of growing is helping other people when you can.
I would like to feel that people feel good after they leave our presence.
I work on that.
We both do. It's so important. You know what? One of the reasons why we do this show is we want to be a small part with so many other people in many pockets of the world to make that little bit of a difference that can really go a long way. And part of that is exactly what you said. And I'm not saying be disingenuous. I'm talking about being really authentic and really walking your talk, and not be one way here and then a different way here. And we all know that people are like that. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. As you always say, perfection is only a direction. But I do believe we walk our talk pretty much all the time, and what you see is what you get here. And I really think that's pretty cool, because if we are going to impart some wisdom and knowledge, and I'm going to be savvy at 70, I need to be knowing what I'm talking about, right? Right?
Absolutely.
And so that's why we wanted to bring up some of our favorite concepts, principles, keywords, master phrases, and give you an opportunity to look from within. In one of my little coaching metaphors, lights, camera, action, okay? This was one of my aha moments when I was in that passionate bubble with myself. And this is going back many, many years ago, because I had to coach myself. I'm starting in the television world in my mid-40s, and I'm going, my goodness, what am I doing here? I was a single mom standing in the cheese line, food stamp line, trying to make ends meet. And many of you don't know that. It's a true story. And I had to find a way to find myself in my mid-40s starting all over again. So I took that camera and I used the metaphor, and I wanted to look at myself through that camera just like you're doing right now. And I've asked myself, what does my viewer want to see? They're going to want to see honesty, right? I'm doing a service, a sales service, so I want to present products and give the best features and benefits as I possibly could. And it became a thing because I would have to do these tape reviews, but it's no different than almost doing that tape review of yourself. You know how you're saying, treat it like it's a movie. Right. So I go back, and in this lights, camera, action coaching, I say, take a look at yourself as if you were looking through a movie camera or even just a regular still shot camera. And take a look at what you see and give your, not in judgment, but in assessment. Assess what you see through that camera. And guess what? If there's something you don't like, just like a camera, You can focus, you can change the focus, and you can focus exactly what you want to see and focus the clarity that you want to see, and then follow the map, the master action plan. And that's what we've developed in our overall coaching, this life of empowerment and a way to learn how to master every single one of these components. So when you are struck with crisis in life, if anything, divorce, death, accidents, illness, we've been through it all, haven't we, hon?
Absolutely.
And if it wasn't for this life mastery that we have learned over time, over years, with a very strong foundation of faith, we wouldn't be sitting here today. So we're going to take a brief little time out. I think we have that coming up here soon. I'm ready to go. Are you? We'll be right back. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into the final portion, the last segment of our show today. Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is Dennis Kelly, and we're having a sort of an open mic discussion on what does an empowered lifestyle look like. This is it. This is what we do. This is what we do. So in this last segment, we're going to recap, and I want you to just chime in with your bullet points and to chime in, which what we feel is the master key is living a heart-empowered lifestyle. And some of the things that we've talked about this full hour, just in case you're maybe tuning in late or whatever, but remember, you can always go back and review the entire show. But we were talking about a couple of the things to start off with, passion and purpose and how important that is.
Right. Well, passion is not that hard to develop if you understand it. Passion is something, it either comes naturally for a certain something, or you have to manufacture it. Either way, you've got it at your fingertips. The key thing is to realize that you control that passion. You can control it.
Yes, you can.
And not let it get away with controlling you. See, you can have passion for something for the wrong way, for the wrong reasons. And that's sometimes when we get in trouble. The key thing is when you have a passion, make sure it's a passion for something that's going to be beneficial. Like some people have a passion for cocaine. Some people have a passion for smoking. See,
that's not the kind of passion.
That's a dead-end passion.
Right. But don't you
destructive.
But don't you feel that having an authentic passion that can help a person really grow in their personal growth and development and make those changes that can change that can change addictive behavior?
Oh, absolutely. But the key is to know where the passion comes from.
Right.
A lot of people think it comes from the head. That is the biggest misnomer in the world. The passion comes from the heart. The head feeds the heart information. The heart then turns that information, either rejects it or it turns it into a passion.
Exactly. You know, talking about that and finding that passion, there's a lot of people walking around that don't really know what their passion is. And when we did a coaching event, when I was doing women's coaching, phone coaching actually, many years ago when I was first certified as a life coach, I had about 10 women at the house. And I said, and I'll ask you this, ask yourself this, that this could help anybody find their passion, is if you had everything you ever wanted at this point in time in your life, say you have your car, you've done some traveling, you have plenty of money in the bank, you have all the latest gadgets and all, would you be doing what you're doing right now? And believe me when I tell you, if you can take some quiet time, and maybe you are, we can ask ourselves, are we doing that? And we are. That's when you can find that passion. And I had several women leave that night. One was in tears, and she's one of my Women Unscripted, Helena, who completely had a total lifestyle change. She too became a life coach. She's now a publisher, and she's rocking babies in the NICU. And I'll tell you, I never forget to tell about that story, because a lot of times we go through life, we get married, we have kids, we get divorced, people die, whatever, and we're so busy trying to make that almighty buck and flow through life as best as we can, deal with all the stresses. But do you find, as a Heart Math Peak Performance life coach, would you say that finding your passion is finding your balance as well?
Well, you could use that cliche, it helps the balance. Like I said, if you're using it for positive things.
Yes.
And the passion gives you the energy to do what you want to do and need to do, gives you the answer. The why, the big why comes from the passion. It doesn't come from the brain. It comes from the heart, because there is now discovered 20-some years ago that there's a brain within the heart. Heart Math Institute has created a whole series of exercises, books, and excuse me, and tapes and everything explaining about the heart. One of the greatest discoveries in the world, very few people are aware of, that there's some of the same cells in the heart, crystallized cells that are in the brain. So the key there is to be aware of that. And when you make decisions, is that a head decision or a heart decision? The head decision can steer you down the wrong path. The heart decision never lies.
It is never, ever wrong. And once you get into tuning yourself into these principles and concepts, it becomes very easy. I know when I first studied this whole concept, at first for me it was a little, is this a head decision? If it's a heart decision, guess what? when you make the head decision, you know you made the wrong decision because it comes back to bite you. When you make a heart decision, it just feels so good, and you just know you've made that right decision. And that's what we really base our balance, our anti-aging about. We know how to make those right decisions just by balancing the head with the heart and understanding all of that. Some of the other things that we have been talking about here this evening is our self-talk and a foundation of faith. And not only that, but the perception in talking with others, in talking with ourselves, even the self-talk. How do we want to perceive things, right?
Right.
It all comes together. It's all like in this map, this overview all the time. Do you need some water?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
So basically, as we close this hour, our whole purpose for this hour was, you know, when you add another 10 years to your life, which I'm doing in 2 days, can you believe that? Now I know how you felt at 70. Right? Sort of, kind of. And you've been my mentor all these years. That age is just a number.
I don't feel any different at 80 as I did when I was 70.
See? And I don't feel any different than when I was 16, just like I was doing the peppermint twist on the dance floor 5 weeks ago.
One of the biggest gaps, or the fastest people age, it's like a aging process. When you age from 65 years of age to 70, all right, but when you go 70, 75, there's much more, in most cases, deterioration, setbacks, than there is going from 65 to 70. Then going from 75 to 80, there's a whole nother group of those things that happen that we lose a lot of because of not exercising, because of not eating right. The downhills starts getting quicker and quicker.
Sure.
That doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
You've
already proven that.
There are things that I can do that I couldn't do in my 60s and 70s because I continued working on those things. Mm-hmm. There are things I can't do anymore, but there are things that I'm aware of and I don't let that bother me, because the main thing is if I got enough things going where I'm improving, that'll take care of things that I'm not, that I have no control over.
Exactly.
And that's very few.
And you know, I'll tell you, it makes a big difference when you take care of yourself. You have the right mind, body, spirit, mindset, and heart set. It makes a difference when we are, you know, hit with some kind of a surprise. And we never know. You know, it could be a car accident, could be anything. Could be my sport injury, and I wasn't even playing sports. I was on the dance floor. But if you can follow these principles, believe us when we share with you, these are principles that we live on a daily basis. And for you to have overcome Parkinson's disease, still working on the last few little stages of that from 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whenever that started, and overcoming the melanoma, which was just last year.
That was a very serious case of melanoma.
Yes,
they didn't think they could get to it where it was.
Exactly, but they did, and because of some of the alternative things that you've been doing, it's been making a difference. You better take some of that. And it just makes a difference. It's really about knowledge, and that phrase, knowledge is power. It really is.
One of my favorite phrases.
Yeah, it truly is. And you're going to be seeing us out here more talking about anything new, anything different, things that we are utilizing to make our lives optimal. And my husband goes to the gym every single day, don't you? Except for when the Packers are playing.
That's different.
Then he's at the Packers bar, and I have to tell you this, and I'm going to close the show with it because it's so cute. He's up at 6:30 in the morning. We have our coffee, our devotionals, and whatever. And he's in his Packers outfit from head to toe by what? 7 o'clock. And you're ready to go whoom, right out the door, down to the Packers bar. They're all Packers fans, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go in there if you weren't a Packer fan.
No. He goes in there and sits with his Packer friend buddies until the game starts. And then you're there cheering them on, and I can always tell when he walks in the door whether they lost or whether they won. And in the afternoon, I'm checking to see where they're at.
You know how to prepare.
So I know whether or not I should prepare comfort food or not for you. But it's all good. It's all good. Do you have final things to say? Because I'm just.
No, it's the thing is, we are in more control of our life than we think we are.
Thank you. That's a good closing. That is a really
Just
good
like
closing.
I say, if you're the director of your movie,
yes,
you can choose however you want the movie to end up.
Right. Exactly. You can.
And seeing that has already happened, it's easy to develop a passion. How you develop a passion, it's really simple to know. It's hard to get yourself to take the how would I say, to take the discipline to do it.
Exactly. And we're going to share more about that discipline. We're going to give you more tips as we go along. Gosh, this hour went by very, very quickly. And I want to thank you for being such a great host with me.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. And so we really appreciate you for tuning in and listen to us go on and on about what we're doing in our life experience and celebrating. And I'm just very blessed with all the great friends that we have, our wonderful family, and just the blessings.
A lot to be thankful for.
A lot to be thankful for. And we do start our day and end our day with gratitude and prayer. So good luck, and we'll see you next time,
Hasta
Monday.
la vista.
I will be a whole 70 then.
The big 7.